I'm Reverend Horton. Welcome to this week's reflection. We talked about charity earlier this week, and I've been examining how I can better give to those around me. There's certainly a lot to look at, and I've been praying for advice and guidance on who to give to and where to give. I have, in my life, been on both sides of the charity extremes, as well as having received charity. First, I've had the habit of giving too much. It may sound strange when we're talking about giving to those in need, but we have to remember that it's important to have balance. We're called to give our excess to those who have deficit. If we overextend ourselves, then we put ourselves in a place of trouble and deficit. I've also been in a place of not giving as much as I should have. It may not always seem like we know who to give to, and I certainly didn't. However, if we open ourselves up to God's Word, He will guide us to those who need our help. For instance, I talk with people often at my job. I make small talk, and while it doesn't cost me anything, it might make that person's day a little bit better. I have no way of knowing who needs that help, or just to talk, but I offer it to everybody. I've also been on the receiving end of charity. I've done some very stupid things in my past. One such thing landed me in about $3,000 of debt, which would have been about a month and a half without any money in my accounts. I couldn't buy food, couldn't buy gas, I couldn't even pay for my phone bill. I was ashamed of what had happened, and I didn't want to tell anybody, mostly for fear of judgment. However, I told my grandpa about it, and he asked only one question: "How much is your phone bill?" He paid it off. He didn't expect me to pay him back, and didn't do it for any gain to himself. He did it instead because he loves me, and wanted to help me in whatever way he could at the time. Similarly, I told my aunt and uncle that I loved some of the snack mix that they had made at Christmas that I had taken with me. They asked if I needed or wanted anything, and while I didn't want to ask for help, I mentioned just a couple of items. They ended up sending me enough food that I didn't have to ration nearly as much, and I could eat. I was so grateful and still am to this day. I don't just bring this up to talk about myself. Instead, I bring it up to remind us that asking for charity or accepting it doesn't make us weak. By admitting where we fall short, we can be lifted up by others or by God. That's what makes us better people, and able to live more fulfilling lives. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and please remember to like, subscribe, and share the message with others. Have a wonderful week, and God bless.